Good evening and welcome to a new edition of Daily Debate. This evening we'll be debating the presidential elections. We have received a decision by the Egyptian president that in continuation of our roadmap, we'll be going first through the presidential elections. What kind of a president does Egypt need? One of the people strongly wanted for this hot seat by most of the Egyptian people is General Abdel Fattah al-Sisi, or we should be referring to his new title, Al-Mushir Abdel Fattah al-Sisi. The question at this juncture is, will he be nominating himself? And more importantly, who will be standing in the presidential elections 2014? What kind of criteria should be used or applied in the selection of the upcoming Egyptian president? With us, a distinguished panel to discuss this issue. With us this evening is Engineer Hassan Shaaban, the Assistant Chairman at Al-Wafd Party. And with us also this evening is Dr. Hussein Shoreibah, Planning and Development Expert. And also this evening we're joined by Dr. Aref Desouky, Deputy Director of Al-Wafd Party. Gentlemen, pleasure to have you with us. Before we start our discussion, just a brief introduction of who Abdel Fattah al-Sisi is, the popular candidate thus far as the Egyptians are concerned, and we'll be right back after this.
Field Marshal Abdel Fattah al-Sisi has emerged as a nationalist icon in the mold of the former President Gamal Abdel Nasser. Al-Sisi al-Nasser, the charismatic colonel who ruled Egypt between 1954 and 1970, were both military men whose popularity was stoked by rising nationalism and who oversaw wide-ranging crackdowns on the Brotherhood. But unlike al-Nasser, a champion of pan-Arabism, whose speeches brought people into the streets across the region, Sisi has kept a lower profile, rarely giving public addresses. Appearing as a key player in the political arena, Sisi has maintained a calm public persona that is far from a stern military figure. Over the past few months, Sisi's popularity has soared among secular liberal Egyptians, and he has managed to become popular with revolutionaries as well as the supporters of the old regime, who view him as a bulwark against the Brotherhood terrorist organization. In a speech given on July the 24th, 2013, Sisi called for protests to give him the military a mandate to confront potential terrorism. People responded by flocking to the streets in millions to protest against the rule of President Mohamed Morsi on June the 30th, leading to his ouster. Sisi was born in El Gamaliya district in Cairo on the 19th of November 1954. After his graduation from the Egyptian Military Academy in 1977, he served in the Infantry Corps. Sisi studied for a year at the American Army War College in Pennsylvania. A father of four, Sisi rose up the ranks in the Army, occupying various senior positions, including commander of the Mechanized Infantry Battalion and head of the Information and Security at the General Secretariat of the Defense Ministry. He also served as Egypt's military attaché in Saudi Arabia. Former President Hosni Mubarak had appointed Sisi as his military intelligence chief, making him the youngest officer to hold the post. Sisi served as a chief of staff and then commander of the Northern Military Zone before being appointed director of military intelligence and reconnaissance. Prior to his promotion to head of the Armed Forces last August, he sat on the Supreme Council of the Armed Forces as the former head of the military intelligence and was one of the youngest members. Sisi was viewed as the face of the new generation when he was appointed defense minister in August 2012. The appointment came shortly after Morsi assumed office and ordered Field Marshal Mohammed Hussein Tantawi, the 70-year-old head of SCAF, into retirement. But Sisi's appointment by Morsi sparked reports that the new army chief had links to the Brotherhood. But the rumors after he sided with the will of the people. On December 6, 2013, Sisi was named the Time Person of the Year in the Time magazine's annual reader poll. Kamil Gimilak, or Finish Your Favor, along with the nation's demand and the Sisi for president, are campaigns that were started aiming to gather signatures in order to press Sisi to run for presidency. Many politicians and parties had announced their support for Sisi in the event of his running for president, including the National Salvation Front, Tamarud, as well as Amr Moussa and Ahmed Shafi, the previous candidates for the presidency, Prime Minister Hazem al-Biblawi and the Free Egyptians Party. 59-year-old Sisi has not yet said whether he will seek the country's highest profile, but military commanders said in a statement on Monday that the people's trust in Sisi is a code that must be heeded as the free choice of the people.
Welcome back. Gentlemen, before we go into individuals, because definitely for us to have fair democratic elections, and we know that more than one person will be running for those elections, it's not just Field Marshal Abdel Fattah al-Sisi. What do we need in a president, without going into names, but in this critical stage in Egyptian history, a stage whereby we have a lot of enemies from outside and worse, from inside, a stage whereby we have a lot of security problems, we have vast economic problems, we have a lot of inside political conflicts. I mean, a lot of conflicts between different political powers, so to speak. What kind of a president do we need? And the floor is open for whoever wants to start the discussion.
I start? Okay, thank you very much. Nowadays, we can't go one step further more unless we have to make a quick run on the image and analyze deeply this image. And really, I can use some quick analysis for image and for the situation on the ground. The image now, it is, from my point of view at least, the presidency nomination is directed towards, from the popularity of the Egyptian, towards General or now Field Marshal Sisi. And he is asked and invited by the majority of the Egyptian. And I hope and I think, I didn't like to say, I am sure that Mr. Sisi accepted, not will accept, accepted, and he tried to keep it quite easy, not oriented or not mentioned very clearly in a sharp, because he has to know that the final steps will be after 1 or 2 weeks. Yeah, from 2 days he has he took the rank Field Marshal, and they spoke about his resigning from the Ministry Council, and he accepted the nomination and the invitation of the Army Council. He accepted really the nomination and invitation of all Egyptians. And as I think the talk with Chuck Hagel gives some points.
But he didn't accept the nomination yet. The Supreme Military Council gave the blessing that he, as a military council, they say he will give him the blessing to run for the elections should he choose to do so.
To do by himself.
But no statement was made by...
He didn't give any final statement.
No.
But the signals gives us that he accepted the nomination of the majority of the Egyptian popularity. And nowadays he is the only one can go safely in this position, because we tried to see many times, we tried Muslim directions, and we have what is going on and what is running on what are the problems. We didn't go in this area now, and we didn't go to the problems that the Egyptian discovered.
What do we need in a president? You went straight to Abdel
This
Fattah
is the main
al-Sisi.
question.
What do we need,
all
regardless of what his
all
name is?
Egyptians, in a very short, clear cut, two words: honest, strong person. Honest, strong person. And this is really very concise statement coming from the Quran. Ibn Shu'aib, she asked her father, we are in need for the strong and honest man. Honest man, this is not clear in the others. And we know the others and what they want.
No, we're not going to talk about the others.
We will not go to the names. But
no, we're not talking about the others now. We'll go into that.
We are talking
so the criteria is a strong, honest...
strong, honest, have a team, an honest team, to tell him the truth, not to accept from him the truth.
Okay. Engineer Hassan, what do we need in the next president, aside from honest and strong?
Actually, it is a bit difficult to find a person with the required criteria. We need the Superman. Actually, Egypt suffered quite a bit recently, and we had an accumulated number of problems. What we require is a man of the world. He knows what he's talking about. He work in a team, and this is very difficult in Egypt. Teamwork is not there. He should be able to listen and have a good means of communication with the mass. I think he should not be eager for the position. I mean, if you find somebody who's eager for the position today, you just be careful, watch it, because
it's not a picnic.
He's not really, he is not really aware of the size of the problem. Egypt today is a big problem, locally, abroad, even our